The Priest Isaac's Institute of Holistic Knowledge presents an international homeschool program that offers African heritage, biology, astronomy, language arts, yoga, and much more. Our classes are created with the young ones in mind, and we cater to youths from kindergarten to high school. Children love our colorful and very animated lessons, while parents recommend it to friends and family. Contact us for a free preview and see for yourself why investing in the International Homeschool Program will be of great benefit to you and your young ones. Blessings. Blessed love family, Salamta, Hotep, Tenestelin to each and everyone, greetings. It is a joy, great honor that I could be in your presence once more. Of course, you know, we glorify the life giver and the keeper of life, Emperor Haile Selassie I. Give thanks for a wonderful program on the Tiger's Nest. And of course, coming to you now in this international platform as well. My family, the Honorable Priest Isaac, here with you. And as you can see, we are definitely getting closer to our Royal International Patriots Day. And it is going to be a blast. I am so excited as it relates to the 3rd of November, which is the coronation of Menelik II. And we are celebrating the coronation of Emperor Haile Selassie I on the 2nd of November. So there's so much that is added into this pot called Patriots Day. Patriots Day is connected with so many things. It's connected to Menelik II. It's connected, obviously, to Emperor Haile Selassie I. It's connected to the resurrection of Radio Anu, because that's what it's really all about. Yet still, the spirit is connected to our telethon, which is connected to the essay competition. So many things taking place. And I'm just happy that most of you, and I hope all of you, will be a part of this session here this time around. So you can definitely see even before you, all the participants, and there are even more that should be here, but they will be here in due time. We're going to have a wonderful day. As you can see, we have a lot of different guest speakers and visitors who will be coming and expressing themselves on different subject areas, their expertise, etc., etc. We have Brother Dr. Kemet Shockley. We have the Honorable Priest Richie, Honorable Kess Westmore. We have Honorable Ankoma the Dread shall be there with us. Honorable Empress Ethiopia as well. As I said earlier, we have a special youth university program, and that will be brought to you by Honorable Prince Alamase and the Honorable Princess Acacia Menin. Man, everybody here is honorable, isn't it? And of course, we have the Honorable Dr. Wayne Rose, and he will be with us as well, giving us his input on our liberation, because this is a liberation day. This is not no entertainment day, and we come in skin and grin day. No, this is a very, very important day. At the hour of 12 o'clock, keep your notes, family. At the hour of 12 o'clock, we will be having a special roundtable reasoning discussion. Myself, the Honorable Priest Dougie, and a few others. We're just waiting for them to confirm. And we will be talking about Africa. We'll be talking about Rastafari moving forward. What a beautiful day it will be. The Honorable Franz de Freitas will be with us as well. Yes, a good honorable brother for sure. And of course, he specifically is an aspirant as such as it relates to the governing field, the political field, a political hopeful, if you want to use that term as well, here in Antigua. But yet still, he is a motivator, an entrepreneur, a businessman, and a teacher in his own rights. So we're looking forward to have him with us. So obviously, it's going to be a wonderful, mighty day. Myself, the Honorable Empress Naya, we will be hosting the day going through, keeping you company. Of course, Black King Sound will also be in the house. And let's not forget a Pedimek. Yes, we're talking about the launch of our brand new full-length video documentary, A Pedimek. Family, I gotta tell you from my heart, a Pedimek is a wonderful work of art. And I'm telling you, myself, we delve into a lot of the mystics, and we have already showed you the link between a Pedimek and Haile Selassie. But when you watch the documentary, it's more than just the link. It's the psychological connection that you're going to get with the reality of what Haile Selassie the First went through when he battled Mussolini. You see, the moral of the story of the documentary, A Pedimek, really is for us to get a good understanding of where Ethiopia stood in the defense of Africa in the scramble for the same, the scramble for Africa. Not just Haile Selassie against Mussolini, but Menelik II, of which Menelik's battle at Adowa is a key part of the Pedimek story. And of course, let's not forget Johannes the Fourth. Let's not forget King Theodore II, Tuados II as well, and they get key mention. Empress Taitu, King Prince Rasmokenen, they get special mention. Even Empress Aditu in this documentary, A Pedimek. Give thanks, wonderfully made. And I'm not saying it like if I'm boasting and bragging. More than 50% of the documentary is the Honorable Prince Almase, and his technical skills will be expressed there. And of course, the research team is always on target. Give thanks for the Honorable Princess Acacia Menin. So there's a lot of work taking place here, obviously, family, at the Institute, and we're so happy that you will be on board. So remember, the night of the 3rd, it is a free video showing. Just contact us and let us know, I would like to be a part of the audience on Thursday night for the free showing of A Pedimek. That's it. And you'll get the link. You can visit our website as well. The link is in the video, the description of the video below. And you will also find how you could get your assurance. So listen, family, there's so much more we have to say, but I will wait until the sealing up of this conversation and give you some more information. But the main thing is to make sure you are on Radio Anu on the 3rd of November. That's it. That's the main thing, that you are on Radio Anu, not the YouTube. And let me just say too, our special discussion at 12 o'clock, we will be streaming that live on the YouTube as well. So you could look forward to that one. But outside of that, make sure you're fully there with us. Radio Anu, from the time the sunrise, before the sunrise, from midnight, we'll be definitely doing it in a wonderful and mighty fashion. Beautiful, family. All right. What I really wanted to touch here is really on somewhat of a classroom session level. This is really about information and knowledge. And as I encourage the ones that would, follow the tiger's nest, this is really about knowledge. This is really about inspiration too. And this is not about getting caught up in the back and forth within the conscious realms of the community that we are a part of. This is about gaining information. Now, I'm really going to stick on the subject area of impediment. And as I said a moment ago, what impediment does, it really highlights the importance of us knowing our history, knowing how to connect the dots, really, having a good understanding of historical timelines. So, family, we may know history and we can quote a date or two, but within our own psychological space, you with me? Do we understand historical timelines? Okay, so for example, I usually highlight when I give lectures, even amongst the academics, and I would show that, hey, just check this out good. When Malcolm X and Martin Luther King were on the scene, when they were assassinated, both of these brothers were assassinated around 100 years after the United States got its emancipation. This is a serious thing. The United the United States of America. I talk United Nation and United Station. The United States of America got its independence in 1863. The blacks in the United States, I should say. I'm talking independence now. I'm thinking of the Caribbean and the British Isles. The Negroes in America, the black people, they got emancipated in 1863. The United States independence really don't got nothing to do with the black people. Somehow they jumped on the bandwagon when they became free themselves, so-called, which is again in 1863. Because remember, since 1776, the United States was independent. From who? From Britain. That ain't got nothing to do with the Negroes at the time. They were still the same people. They were still in the same position. They were still the underclass. I don't even think they were in any class. They couldn't even go to the school. They were just 3/5 of human beings. They were cargo. They were beasts of burdens. That's all. So independence, there was nothing about independence for the Negroes to celebrate. Nothing. They never did. Only when we were set free, we decided to join our oppressor and celebrate, the holidays. See, like tonight is Halloween holidays. We dressing up like bats and skeletons and pumpkins and French fries and all kind of things because we have now adapted ourselves to that culture that had enslaved us. You understand? So that's just the reality of that. So it's good to know timeline. And I'm just saying all of that to say when we got out of the enslavement that was upon us, in 100 years, Martin Luther King gets shot. In 100 years, Malcolm X gets shot. No, listen to me now. I didn't say in 100 years, Malcolm X was born, So that means when Malcolm X was born, when Martin Luther King was born, they were just 50 years plus away from the emancipation of slavery in America. These are people that are relatively close to us, Malcolm X's daughter is still around, doing interviews. Malcolm X got taken out 100 years after slavery. So that means he was born almost 40 years before he was taken out. But the point I'm making, family, is that a lot of us don't take our time and even think about this. But slavery, as they call it, was not that long ago. And this is why you have to be able to chronologize things, put them in perspective. For example, the Berlin Conference. That is 1884, 1885. Do you know that took place after the same emancipation of slavery? So emancipation of slavery took place in the US one more time, 1863. It took place in the British West Indies in 1834. 30-something years difference, good. So when the slaves were freed in the West, 20 years after that, fellas meeting in Berlin, in Germany, to decide how to chop up Africa into different parts. Just think of this. Now, many of us, we don't even sit and meditate on that. As I said, you have to put it in its proper chronological perspective. Chronicle it. Yes, that's the right term. Chronicle it. You have to put it in the right order. So we never penetrate that, hey, listen, when the so-called slaves got free in the West Indies and in the United States of America, the so-called scramble for Africa did not really begin as yet. There were small areas in Africa. Before the Berlin Conference, there were small areas in Africa that were already colonialized by the French and by the British and Spain, etc. But the Africa as a divided colony of Europe as we have come to know it did not really happen until after the Berlin Conference. When is this again? This is 1884. Menelik II was crowned in 1889. The Battle of Adwa is in 1896. Just check the time frame. That's about 12 years after the Berlin Conference. And by the time they meet Menelik on the battlefield of Adwa, them fellas that were at the Berlin Conference don't have all of Africa. How about this is something else? Let's look at this, family. Look at this map here. Now, this map here is telling us, and this is from, let me get it, matadometwork.com. And this map is in 1880. And that's courtesy of Pinterest, obviously. Now, in 1880, let us take a look at Africa and its divisions. So you could obviously see here, you have, for example, the Ottoman Egypt. This is the Ottomans, Turk. You have Egypt and some parts of North Africa. This is Tripolitania. That's like Mauritania and Tripoli, somewhat in some mixture. And this is interesting because you'll see names, for example, let's just pick this up a little more. So let me show you this. You have Lagos. Lagos is controlled by the British. Now, at this time, Nigeria, as we know it, did not exist. At this time, Nigeria, as we know it, did not exist. So now you have here Dahomey. Dahomey is here, and you have Benin over here. But Dahomey is still the Benin that we know today. In fact, those of you who are from West Africa, those of you who are from Nigeria, you will know that in Nigeria, you have the ancient city of Benin. This is not the country of Benin I'm talking about. In Nigeria, you have the ancient city of Benin. So here you have the Aro Confederacy. The Aro is like a subgroup of the Igbo people. And what happened is that the Aro people from around, I think it's the 1600, would have formed a kind of confederacy with different aspects of the Igbo, and if I'm not mistaken, a few other ethnic groups as such of African people to create this area known as the Aro Confederacy. So these kingdoms that you're looking at here, like without brackets next to them, are basically independent kingdoms. You have the Deni Kingdom, You have these here, when you see Sultanate and Caliphate, you already know that is an Islamic influence. And especially to the eastern part of Africa, where you have the Wasangali Sultanate and the Majeerteen Sultanate and these ones. If you understand the Arabs, this is obviously closer to Arabia, and you would understand the influence that the Arabs had when it comes to the island of Zanzibar, Mauritania, etc., etc. And this is why in that area of the world today, you have that strong Islamic influence. And a lot of ones, even Black people, will tell you that they are Arabs first before they are Black people. Interesting. You find them in the Horn of Africa. You find them in southern Sudan, or South Sudan as it is known today. And of course, you find them along the eastern coast of Africa. Along the eastern coast, you find a lot of these slave dungeons, and you find a lot of these slave ports named Jesus, etc. Not ships, ports. A lot of port Jesuses can be found along the coast of East Africa. But even before that, before the Europeans were doing that, the Arabs had a strong hand in the whole slave trade in East Africa here, and of course in North Africa, trying to go all the way down into West Africa. A very serious thing. Even tonight on the Tiger's Nest, we were speaking about the history of the Moors and the Berbers, and how they tried to confuse the history of the Moors with the history of the Berbers, and that is not so at all. So they make it appear as if they try to wipe out the history of the Moors, because remember the level of civilization that the Moors brought to Europe and Spain, when the Visigoths were controlling the Iberian Peninsula. It is the Moors that went in and brought civilization, brought street lamps, brought fountain water running crystal clear. They touched they tapped the natural aquifer of the earth, and created fountains and toilet systems and sewage systems. And yeah, that's what the blacker Moors, according to our good brother Chancellor Williams, that's what they were referred to as. Some refer to them as a black Berber people. Some people just see the Berbers as pale Arabs. So it's very confusing. And then even us amongst ourselves, we know that more means black, but right now they have people that telling you more don't mean black. So what about the blacker Moors that our scholars teach us about? Hmm? And so the history is clear from 711, from the time Tariq and 7,000 black Africans went into Spain. It was 7,000 black Africans and very few Arabs with them. Maybe no more than 400 Arabs went in with them. And they conquered Spain, Cordoba, and conquered Europe in general. That is why Europe appeared to be civilized, even to us historically speaking. Even when they invaded Africa, we may have seen them, in clothes and with certain level of machinery and certain levels of advancement, but they got that from us. Remember, the Moors, were kicked out of Spain in 1492. Does that year sound familiar? That's the same year that them fellas sail the ocean blue. You understand? The same, after we have civilized them. Remember, we met them in the dark ages. Follow the history. As I say, you have to chronicle it good. We met them in the dark ages, 711. Not the corner store, 711 AD and 1492, 700 years after. On the 2nd of January, interesting day, the Moors were expelled out of Spain. And that same year, Ferdinand and Isabella, same thing, Isabella mean Elizabeth. Ferdinand and Isabella sent Columbus and others around the world to be checking this and checking that. The invasion began. And remember, we brought light to them, the Moors. So even though they invaded Africa, so let's follow it good, family. They invaded Africa and the slave trade began. But what I'm trying to show you, even though the slave trade began, the slave trade was in swing. When slavery came to an end, Africa was still a country, a continent, pardon me, that had many ethnic kingdoms and empires. So a lot of like the Sokoto Caliphate, um, um, the Emirates, and the Sultanate, they were either Arab or Arab run or definitely Islamic influence, even though we would have had black rulers, you know, ones that would have accepted Islam. And that is why you have the Musas, the Mansas, pardon me, and these ones of the ancient kingdom of Timbuktu and these places. But we are African, but we would have already taken up the Islamic tradition that we received. Okay, many would argue that Islamic is originally African. I am not arguing that at all. What we received as Islam, whether we originally had the original Islam or not, the Islam that we held on to was an Islam that came back to us, already Arabized and refined in their own way. You have the Kamen Bonu Empire, you have the Wadi Empire, you have the Kingdom of Baguriimba. You have the Toro Kingdom down here. You have the Buganda Kingdom, of course, that is obviously Uganda. You have the Ankole Kingdom. The point I make it, family, Yake, the Kingdom of Lunda, the Kingdom of Luba. You have the Kingdom of Cuba as well, which is spoken of in the book, The Destruction of the Black Civilization. You have Angola, but the Portuguese running things here at the time. You have Mozambique, but the Portuguese running things here at the time. You have the Congo, the French running things here at the time. How is it that they get there? Remember, this is 1880. And remember, this is after the slave trade began. This is after the great kidnapping. This is after, as people like to say, African soul Africans into slavery. Well, all of this done take place because the slave trade would have happened. By this time, the slave trade would have come to an end, and slavery as we know it would have been done. And in America and the Caribbean and parts of Central and South America, Black people would have been emancipated by this time here. That's why Black people wanted to go home. Enough empires were there at the time. Empires, we had empires all over Africa ready and waiting for us. Check the Ethiopian Empire. Interesting its size here according to this map at the time. So this means that all the conquering, because Menelik is known for conquering land. So all the conquering that Menelik would have done would have taken up all of this if this map is correct from 1880. Because remember, again, let us check the timeline. Menelik came to the throne in 1889. Yeah, battle rap, eh? Yeah, and of course, by 1896, we defending the whole territory at the Battle of Adwa, and by that time, Ethiopia was the Horn of Africa, as we know it today, the Horn of Africa. So again, the Ottomans, the French, you can see they're all in here, but of course, you can obviously see that Africa at this time, this is 1880, definitely had kingdoms. This is history that we can verify. Africa definitely had kingdoms that we could point to. But obviously, you still had Britain and France and the Arabs and these ones, the USA and France and Spain still involved. Okay, now this is say 1930, but I would like to say even before 1930. Remember, one more time, when they came up on the doorsteps of Menelik II, 12 years after the Berlin Conference, which is in 1884-85, when they came up at the doorsteps of Menelik II. By that time, all of them empires gone. By the time they buck up on Menelik II, all of these empires were gone. Within 12 years, the only empire that was left back was the Ethiopian Empire. And interestingly, according to this map, it got bigger. Yeah, that's some interesting stuff. And of course, a lot of things would have changed. Even the balance of power, the Ottoman Turks wouldn't be the Ottoman Turks of that day at all anymore. The French and Spanish, and just like in the USA, a lot of hands changed when it comes to a lot of land changed hands amongst the European colonializers too. That's why these fellas had a lot of forts, Yeah, if you come to Antigua, one thing that they like to speak about here is their forts, Fort James and Fort Berkeley and Fort this and Fort that. These forts were set up by the British. And you see the old cannons and so still there. Who you think they set up these forts to defend themselves from? From you? No, man. The British set up their forts to defend themselves from the Spanish. The Spanish set up their forts to defend themselves from the French. And same thing from the Portuguese, European brothers. But they're fighting each other over the black man land and other people land. Yeah. So again, by the time they're ready to touch Menelik, all of this looking totally different. It looking like this. And see Menelik Empire get bigger. According to that, it looking like this. And all them gray gaps here that they're not sure what's going on, they make sure they fill that in. So now you can see from the key, United Kingdom. Look what United Kingdom have. You can see they were trying to get in here. Times for Menelik Rasta. United Kingdom, France. Look at all of France have so much people in Africa talking France. Yeah. Portugal, Spain, Italy, Germany, Belgium, Liberia, Ethiopia. Ethiopia, amongst European names, even Liberia, we know Liberia is not Liberia. Liberia is the United States of America. And Ethiopian stood the test of time. And this is why even the documentary Epidemic, all of what I'm speaking of here and some of the classes we've been given is to prepare you for that documentary. Because this information here is key. The young ones need to understand where the historical timeline falls into place. And we shouldn't be just jumbling up history and just mix up the scramble for Africa with the transatlantic slave trade. Because when you put it in the right perspective, then you would understand, the price that people like Menelik II, Ras McKinnon had to pay for the independence of the rest of the world. Very, very, very important. So as I said, family, all of this, look at it. This is by 1880. This is 1880. Look at all these kingdoms here. Yes, albeit some of them already colonialized. So imagine what was going on before this. And then now you have after the Berlin Conference, within a few years, Africa is well solidified as a European colony, except for Ethiopia. So remember all of this, family, as you come to the table on Thursday night to sit in with us to watch the video, Epidemic, the world premiere of Epidemic, the Conquering Lion had prevailed. Let me just give you a little sneak preview, as you say. No, this is not sneak preview, this is a trailer. Check this out. From the makers of the Master of Ceremonies, Seven and the Night of the Black Tiger. from the heart of the kingdom of Cush, the lion-headed god, Apedimer. The conquering lion hath prevailed. Yes, family. Oh, beautiful. I'm so thankful, eh? So all information is right there in front of you. Just contact us, give me a call, send me an email, and let me know that, hey, I would like to get my copy of Apedimer. I would like to be there for the free showing. Remember, it is a free presentation I'm talking about. On Thursday is a totally free presentation. That evening, just contact us and you will get your link so you can come in and sup with us. Bring your whole family, and it's like you're going to the movies. A live full presentation at Pedimek. And remember, for sure, we have a wonderful lineup of mighty presenters that are going to be with us. We have the Blessed Honorable Dr. Ras Wayne Rose. We have the brother Honorable Akoma Dread that will be with us. Brother Franz De Freitas will be with us. Of course, Dr. Kemet Shockley returning for another round. Rasdre will be bringing Black King sound. Yeah, definitely to bring some vibes in the area. Honorable Priest Dougie will be with us. He will be definitely sitting in with us for that roundtable discussion. That will be at midday. Wonderful. The Honorable Empress Ethiopia will be in the house as well, representing the Ubuntu movement. And as I said before, we're going to have a beautiful special presentation of Youth University. Hey, Youth University today was beautiful. Family, it's every Monday at 4 p.m. The children, Youth University, Prince Almasi, Princess Akesha Menin, just bringing some heavy information, just knocking you down. But hey, and bringing you up to, but hey, they have a special Youth University on Thursday. Same time, 4 p.m. So make sure you're in the house. Well, you will be in the house because you're going to be in the house for the whole day, aren't you? Right. From 5 a.m. meditation. In fact, Naya Bingi will be running from midnight. Naya Bingi will be running from midnight. So make sure you're there from the midnight. The second going into the third, according to their reckoning of time. And then we're going throughout the whole thing. At 6 to 8, I'm going to have a special Tiger's Nest for you. And then at 8 o'clock, we all gather for a Pedimek. What a beautiful day. And then after Pedimek is back to Radio Anunnaka, we're kicking it in. We're going, and remember, we raise it the $12,000 that day. I expect us to do it. We don't have no time to play now. We need to stop giggling and skinning. We're raising that. We have a job to do. We have an essay competition that needs to be put on, and it will be put on. And we intend to put it on to that standard. We could make the budget bigger, because it's supposed to be bigger. The standard's supposed to be higher. You understand? So, as I said, next year, we intend to make this international. In fact, it shouldn't be no next year. It should be now. The 12,000 that we are going to rise, we should rise 24,000. Because that means we will do the national essay competition and the international essay competition, family. Real thing. So I personally looking forward, to each and every one becoming a part of this. As I said, you can make your contribution. Even now, you can make your pledge now. And the pledge is a simple thing. That's how I know if you're with me. Because a pledge, you don't have to have it now. You say, well, please, I pledge it my $50, but you're not going to get it until January the 3rd. All right. And I hold you to the word. Look how long that is from now. That's months away. That's months away. So anyone, I'm being honest, anyone that listening and they really respect what they see, I and I do it. Trust me, they will contribute on that telethon. Listen, I don't want to make you feel bad. If you don't contribute on that telethon, I honestly, from my heart, don't think you're fully with I. Straight up. I'm going to be honest. You know why? Because this is for the essay competition for the youths. You could make your payments in the next 3 months, 4 months. All you have to do is make me know that, hey, I with you, and you're going to get my $50. $50, you know. $50. You could save $1 every day for a month and a half and get that $50 to us before the essay competition in February. Right. And that, to be honest, that's how I test to see, well, okay, who really with me? Because if you're going to say, man, not even that I can do for you, please. I don't have nothing. I don't feel no way, no. I still love you. You're still my friend. Come give me a hug. Everything good. But you're not with I. Impossible. You can't with I. That's the word. Straight up. So give thanks for all those who are with I, who see the seriousness of this, and again, who definitely will be making their contribution, and those who will be making their pledges, which will turn into contribution. And as I said, do it now. You can make your pledge now. So when we start the day on Thursday, we are ahead of the game. We can say, hey, we don't have $5,000 pledge. We're just going to make the next $1,000 within the next 24 hours that we have here live and then direct on radio. And beautiful. Remember, Patrons Day is a day of giving back, eh? Remember, 50% off of everything. Remember, service, well, not everything, a few things we just definitely have to reserve. But those few things that you don't have the 50% off when you partake or you purchase those things, enough other blessings, enough freebies, enough other things coming to you. You'll wonder how is it you're getting all of these things to carry home. So that is what it's all about. It's about giving forward, expressing and showing the love, and just moving to a higher level, bringing family and people together to just express ourselves and making sure we, continue to live in love. So Patriots Day, what's the main thing about Patriots Day? Making sure that you are on Radio Anu for the whole day. That's the main thing. Yes, family gives thanks. Remember the Tiger's Nest. Join us on the Tiger's Nest, man. Every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 7 p.m. sharp. We had such a wonderful program tonight. Were you there? Oh, what a wonderful session. Radio Anu, man, that's the hub. You should go there now. Ain't nothing around them other places here. Unless you should check Radio Anu. The international flavor, the universal spice. And again, and this beautiful poster, you could get a copy of it. You could just contact me and say, I'd like a copy of the poster and assist me in, getting it around. Hey, listen, family, this is how we got to work together. You respect the work. You know that, hey, listen, I respect the world, but I ain't giving no contribution. Okay, fair enough. Let me send you this poster and you share it on your email list. At least you can do that for I and assist the work that you said, is it taking place? Because if you get this to 1,000 people, within the 1,000 people, someone will come on board and make sure and they can assist in the mission going forward. So that's what it's all about. Family is a liberation vibration, and we're rising an empire, and we can't rise the empire without initiatives. We cannot rise no empire without pushing an agenda. That's why your brother always pushing an agenda. Yeah, I am. That's why you always see me on some sort of initiative. Yeah, it's like we just practicing for when we really get on the battlefield. So let's keep it up, family. Let's not go to sleep. Let's love ourselves. Let's love our people. Let's try our best to rise our standard economically. Let us feed the poor. Let us build houses for one another. And let us live in love. That is what we're supposed to do. Life giver and the keeper of life. Love your family. Holy Manuel I. Selassie I. Jah. Rastafari. Hey, if you know your Bible and you do not know your history, the knowledge of your Bible will become a mystery. That's why you should get the book, The True Biblical Land of Israel. It's going to be 50% off, the man. You can get it for $10 on Thursday. $10. Oh my. Hey, it takes some real eyes. Let me say that again. It takes some real eyes to realize the real eyes that are amongst us. Give thanks. Hey, there are many, 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 many lions' dens, but there only one tiger's nest. King Selassie, Jah, Rastafari. Yeah, man. Thursday, Patrons Day. Bless it.